Good morning. Welcome to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City's virtual docket for Thursday, September 10th, 2020. We'll be holding a virtual WebEx hearing to hear new transfer applications. I'm going to very briefly go through the presentation and the packet, and then we'll go into the cases. As a note, if you would like to access this hearing online, we have a link. Please click on the link. Please note that this introduction packet, this hearing packet, is also found on our website. There'll be an access code and a password. If you put that information through your smartphone or computer or other similar device, you'll be able to access the hearings. If you don't have access to a smartphone or computer, you can always call in the number down at the bottom of your screen and enter the access code and have access to our hearings. The materials that the board is going to be reviewing, including the docket, can be found on the link, llbbaltimorecity.gov/hearings-schedule. The link is also found on our website, and you can access all that documentation. There's a 48-hour evidence rule that we adhere to. All evidence should be submitted to Ms. Stacy Russell, our Assistant Executive Secretary, 48 hours prior to the hearing. Related items, amendments made to applications by applicants or their representatives cannot be accepted after August 27, 2020 for all cases heard September 10, 2020. If you wish to make an amendment, we will have to postpone the case as per state law. Quickly, the procedures. After reading the instructions, I will call the cases. Once we call the case, I will impanel all of the attendees to the hearing, to this docket, so that they can provide testimony and evidence for each of the cases. Please note that when you're impaneled, to turn your cameras on and your audio on so that the court reporter, first of all, the commissioners can see you, the court reporter can see you and swear you in. The board is not authorized to discuss non-case related matters. As general ground rules, again, when your case is called and you're going to be sworn in, please speak slowly and in a clear voice so that the court reporter understands exactly what is being said and who is saying it. Please note that this event is running live on Charm TV. Individuals who use profanity or disrespectful or unruly may be expelled from the hearing. Just some helpful reminders. Please, if you're going to be giving testimony and you have a smartphone or computer, please be in a lighted area so that the board can see you, and please make sure your audio settings are turned on. You're not in a noisy area so the board can hear you. And with that, I can jump into the first case.
Okay.
Calling the first case, Pavel Villalobos and Juana Garcia, PPI Tavern Incorporated, trading as PPI Bar, 500 South Lehigh Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Is an amended application to transfer ownership. The board to rehear the matter concerning an issue identified during the issuance process. I'm bringing in attorney Mr. Harvey.
Okay, I think you can hear me now. Hello, good morning.
Hold on, Mr. Harvey. Hold on, Mr. Harvey. And I'm bringing in his client. Ms. Garcia, can you please turn on your
video? Hello, good morning. This is Pavel Garcia.
Can you please turn on your video footage, sir?
Okay. Okay. Good morning, Pavel Garcia, and I have next to me Juana Garcia.
Okay. You can see your video footage.
Okay. Let's, Mr. Harvey, would you identify yourself for the record, please?
Yes, thank you. First of all, okay, I'll do that first. Sean Harvey, 309 South Ackley Street, Baltimore, 21224 for the applicants. I just want to make sure also preliminarily, can you see me?
No.
You can't. I don't know how to turn this video on, but that's fine.
All right. Well, let's swear the witnesses, okay? Do we have a court reporter?
Please. Court reporter is unmuted.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Okay, thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God or under penalty of perjury?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Would
Go ahead.
would you both be able to say your responses again? Oh, I just didn't hear the responses.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear them then?
Oh, and Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Harvey, this case is before us. We had issued a transfer on March 12th. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman, and the board, of course, those were the days when we had the old type of hearing when you're actually present, but what occurred is the board did approve the transfer of this license to Mr. Villalobos and another applicant. His name is Luis Harrison, and all of the hoops have been jumped through in terms of getting the license transferred. All the permits were obtained, the inspections were all approved, and I sent in the $200 transfer fee on July 22nd. At that time, I received a communication from Mr. Acker stating that they just discovered that one of the applicants, that is the resident and minority owner, Mr. Luis Harrison, was disqualified to act as the licensee. So that necessitated filing the current amended application, including Ms. Juana Garcia in place instead of Mr. Luis Harrison. And so now we're seeking to have the board approve her as a licensee. She is a 5% stockholder. She's replacing Mr. Harrison. She's a corporate secretary. She's been advised of all the requirements of a licensee, including following all the rules of the liquor board. She understands she's responsible for that. She has been through a criminal background check, and I don't know if the results came in, but she assures me that she has no criminal background. And the only thing remaining now for her is to have the alcohol awareness certified. She's willing to act as the resident who lives 2 doors away, or 3 doors away from the establishment, and she will be actively involved in the operation of this tavern. We request that she be approved and that we can move forward and obtain the license.
Okay, so back in March, we approved Mr. Villalobos and Mr. Harrison. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so you're substituting Ms. Garcia for Mr. Harrison at this
That's
point.
right.
He is going to be active in the operation of the tavern, and she's to be certified.
That's correct, Chairman.
Commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions. No questions.
All right, do we have public comment, Mr. Ackworth?
If there are any individuals at this time who wish to provide public comment, please use the raise your hand function, and we will panel you. Mr. Chair, I see no individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
All right, thank you, sir. On the basis of the materials contained in the application, the proffers from counsel, and any testimony received, I vote to approve the amended application to transfer ownership, substituting Ms. Juana Garcia for Mr. Harrison, the resident on the license.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The other
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the testimony presented before the board this morning, I also vote to approve the amended application as was set forth this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good morning. I too, based upon the application, the proffers from Mr. Harvey, would also vote to approve the amended application to transfer ownership, replacing Mr. Harrison with Ms. Garcia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Ms. Russell?
No offense for the record.
Thank you.
Mr. Harvey, please note that you will receive a copy of the board's decision via mail and next steps for licensure.
Okay, thank you very much for all of your help.
Calling the next case, Peter Warren, David Bramble, Y56BWA Operator, LLC, trade name pending, 5601 Eastern Avenue, also known as 5701A Fleet, the class B7 beer, wine, and liquor license, presently located at 5601 Eastern Avenue, also known as 517 Bayview Boulevard, to 5601 Eastern Avenue, also known as 5701A Fleet Street. You give me an opportunity, I will pull on all of our panelists.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Williams, I've made you a panelist. Mr. Bramble, I've made you a panelist. Could you please turn on your video and audio? Okay. I have everyone on, including Madam Court Reporter.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Williams, want to identify yourself for the record, please?
Thanks. Good morning. For the record, Justin Williams from the law firm Rosenberg, Martin Greenberg, on behalf of the applicant, Peter Warren, David Bramble.
So do you want to tell us about this application?
Sure. So good morning again. Can I get control of the screen, Mr. Akris, or do I need to just use your...
No, you can't get control of the screen, Mr. Williams.
Okay. Sure. So I guess I'll walk you through the exhibits. I believe we've sent them to the board's assistant secretary, Ms. Russell, in advance of the hearing.
Yes,
Okay, I'll walk you through the exhibits. This is a second part of a case that was heard by the board on June 4th, 2020, in which you approved the transfer of location and ownership of a BD7 class license to this location within Yard 56, which is the redevelopment project of the former porcelain enamel manufacturing site, the PEMCO site, that's been vacant for almost 20 years since PEMCO left the city. Mr. Bramble is the lead developer of MCB Real Estate and the developer of the shopping center, which is an $80 million redevelopment. On June 4th, you, the board, approved the transfer of the license from 3600 Fleet Street to a location within the shopping center. This was a unorthodox two-step transaction because there was a pending legislation, you may recall, that was expiring that authorized the location transfer location of the license that was ending on July 1. And so we did step one on June 4th, where the board approved it, and we've officially got the approval, and the license has been converted to an A7 license. Now this is step two of the transaction, literally moving in across the street in the shopping center as the license is, or I guess the license premises is now ready to be opened. In the exhibits that have been provided to you prior to the hearing, we've provided the floor plan that shows the license premises. It'll be in the lower right-hand corner of the floor plan that's been provided. It'll be next to the Streets Shopping Center or Streets Grocery Store. And there'll be a separate premises, separately owned alcoholic beverages establishment with a door that will be attached, I guess, to the grocery store, similar to the layout of the Sellers Market in Locust Point in the McHenry Road Shopping Center. Kind of a similar scenario where there's an attached liquor store that patrons can use to go get their alcoholic beverages and then go to the grocery store and finish the shopping. Mr. Bramble is individual licensee. On the license, you've already approved the transfer of ownership to him, but for your reference, he is the managing partner of MCB Real Estate former practicing attorney at Steptoe and Johnson. He will not be involved with the day-to-day operation of the establishment. However, he'll ensure that the manager, when he or she is selected, will have alcoholic beverages certification and training. I'm happy to answer any other questions the board has.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Williams. Do the commissioners have any questions?
Chairman, I do. I'm a little bit unclear. Mr. Williams, if you could just explain, we approved the transfer June 4th, and I do recall it had to do with the timing of some legislation. But I'm a little bit unclear about what's before us right now. Is it the transfer of location, or is it? Can you walk me through that, please?
Sure. So literally right now is a transfer of location only. So the board, you have already approved the transfer of ownership and location to a storefront, which was known as 517 Bayview Boulevard, which was a space within the shopping center that's already finished, had a UNO permit. Literally, it's across the interior street, which is the new and final site where we actually intend to operate the liquor store. So literally, where the board is being asked to approve just a transfer location within the shopping center to the storefront, which we intend to actually operate.
Great, and I understand this is a new development?
Yep, so this is part of the Yard 56 development of the former PIMCO site, which was that 100-year operating, I guess, factory of PIMCO International. I believe they left the city in 2000, sometime around that period. I was looking at this the other day, 2006. And so since that time, the factory was vacant, and there are multiple false starts of redevelopment, but Mr. Bramble's development company has taken on the effort, and it's already been a great redevelopment project across from Bayview Hospital.
Great, and I presume that you guys have already engaged the community, and they're all behind this project. We haven't heard any opposition, so I'm just, yeah.
Right, it's been, I think, very well received because I think the community is very happy with the redevelopment of the long vacant factory.
Yeah.
And they're pleased to see some more investment in that side of town.
Great, thank you, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Guy, do you have any questions?
At this time.
Thank you. Mr. Packers, do we have public comment?
If there are any individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter, please use the raise your hand function. I'll panel you so you can provide testimony. Mr. Chair, I see no individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
All right, thank you. Okay, on the basis then, Mr. Williams, of the materials that are contained in the application, as well as the exhibits which were submitted prior to this hearing, and we have before us, and your proffer, I would vote to approve the application to transfer the location of the BD7, now A7 license, to 5701A Fleet Street, in accordance with your request. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon review of the evidence and the testimony presented before the board, I also vote to approve the application to move the license to 5701 Eastern Avenue, as known as 5701 A Fleet Street.
Thank you.
And I too, based upon the application, the proffers from Mr. Williams, would also join my colleagues in approving the transfer of location of this Class B7 license presently located at 5601 Eastern Avenue, known as 517 Bayview Boulevard, to 5601 Eastern Avenue, known as 5701A Fleet Street.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Exhibit number 1, hearing outline and exhibits.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, please note that we will be sending you correspondence via mail regarding the board's approval and next steps for licensure.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, Seth Pritchard, Peachert, 2760 Lighthouse Point LLC, trading as Raw and Refined, 2701 Boston Street, is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service, requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. I'm going to be bringing in the attorney and witnesses. All right. Mr. Woolman, can you please turn on your video and your audio? Ms. Lewin, please turn on your video and audio. Mr. Peter, please turn on your video and audio.
Good morning.
And
Good morning.
I've got the
Good morning.
on.
Is everybody on there?
All right, Mr. Woolman, can you please turn on your video?
I'm trying, and for some reason, it's not coming on.
Well, all the witnesses are on and their videos are on. Madam Court Reporter, do you want to swear them in?
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, under penalty of perjury?
I do.
I do.
Okay, do we have Mr. Wallman on now?
We do have Mr. Woolman on. His video is on.
Would he please identify himself for the record?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Deputy Commissioner Joe Woolman on behalf of the applicant Seth Pikert.
Okay, you want to tell us about this application, please?
Yes, thank you. And again, good morning. This is an application for transfer, licensee only. Mr. Pikert is present, as is Ms. Lewin, who is the previous or current licensee. The licensed premises is located at 2701 Boston Street. This is in the Lighthouse Point development, with which you may be familiar with. It's where the Boat Brooks is, the marina, etc. The premises does include a restaurant building, a pool area, a kiosk, and a marina, and we did include a site plan in our application, which I believe you have. The applicant, Mr. Pikert, is familiar with the rules and regulations of the Baltimore City Liquor Board. He pledges to abide by them. Mr. Pikert was born in 1983. He lives in Baltimore, Maryland. Regarding community outreach, the management team at Raw and Refined, which is the trade name of the establishment, continues to enjoy a positive working relationship with the Canton Community Association. We actually have a meeting with Canton Community on Monday about some additional concepts we'd like to propose, and you may be hearing from us again regarding those in the future, and we continue to work with the community. Regarding the criteria to approve this application, there's section 4210A, the public need and desire for the license, the ability to serve the alcohol as a complement to the restaurant, swim club, and marina, enhances its ability to provide a unique service to the residents and visitors of Lighthouse Point. Number and location of existing license holders. There are 3 other licenses in the area according to your records. None of these are Class BD7 licenses. The potential effect on existing license holders of the license for which the application is made, the location of the license complements and will add to a vibrant commercial corridor that already includes a variety of restaurants and venues. The potential commonality or uniqueness of the services and products to be offered by the business. The operators will continue to offer unique services at this, what we would call a one-of-a-kind venue. The impact of the license for which the application is made on the health, safety, and welfare of the community, including issues related to crime, traffic, parking, or convenience. The operators have made significant improvements to the property. They'll continue to seek the input of the surrounding businesses and residents. Several events that they've held over the past, actually a couple of years now, by the operators were favorably received by the public at large. The manager, who we apologize we wanted to have here today, Mr. Dominic Lascola, he had got called out of state on an emergency. He's very experienced in the industry. He has another establishment in the community. The community is very familiar with him, and he continues to work with the community as well. With that, I'll submit. And if you have any questions, please advise.
And all those who are working, all will be served.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions.
Mr. Woolman, just curious, when do they intend to open up, or are they open now? Oh, it is open and operating.
I understand they are open and operating. I believe the inspection report from June in your file indicates they were open at that time. Mr. Piker, if you could answer Commissioner Greenfield's question regarding that, that might be helpful.
Yes, sir. They are open at this time, and have been open since about June, once the restrictions were lifted and allowed them to do so.
And I presume, Mr. Piker, that the outdoor table service is critical given what's going on now. And I assume you already have restrictions in place and you're doing all the right COVID-related precautions.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. No.
What is the nature of the live entertainment, Piker?
It consists of, usually one or two pieces of acoustic instruments outdoors during daytime hours, typically to provide it around the pool, which is adjacent to the restaurant.
Okay. Do we have any public comment, Mr. Akers?
At this time, if any member of the public who's on the call would like to provide testimony in this matter, please use the raise your hand function so I can impanel you. Mr. Chair, I see no individuals that wish to give public testimony in this case at this time.
Okay. Mr. Woolman, then on the basis of the materials that you contained in your application, your proffers to us this morning on the record, as well as Mr. Piker's testimony, I would vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continued live entertainment, outdoor table service, and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the testimony presented before the board this morning, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with the continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service, requesting and the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the materials in the application, the proffers from Mr. Woolman, and the testimony of Mr. Pikert, I too would approve the transfer of ownership with the continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service with the delivery of alcoholic beverages. Good luck.
Thank you.
No exhibits for the record.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Woolman, we will be sending you correspondence via mail as to the board's decision and the next steps for licensure.
Thank you. Nice to see everyone. Thank you.
Calling next case, Berthina Locklear and Johnny Camille Johnsey, Incorporated, trading as Echo Bar and Grill, 3527 through 29 East Baltimore Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. It's an application to transfer ownership. Give me one moment, and I'll be pulling all of the attorneys and witnesses on. Mr. Camilo, please turn on your video and audio functions on your smartphones. Mr. Kadinsky, please do the same.
Oh, there I am.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Kadinsky, identify yourself for the record, please.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadinsky, 320 North Charles Street.
Thank you. And Madam Reporter, would you swear Mr. Camillo in, please?
Hector Camillo.
Oh, I just can't see Hector.
Can you turn on your video, please, Mr. Camillo?
Is that on?
I see Joe Haney. Okay, and Hector. That works. Thank you. Please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Mr. Gopani Camillo?
I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kness, you want to tell us about this application?
Yeah, this is an application to transfer an existing location. It's been there for quite some time. Miss Bernetha Locklear, who is also the applicant, is the current licensee, and she's agreed to stay on temporarily until the place gets open. This is up on Conklin and Baltimore Street. It's where close to where old SK used to be. Cross street is a cemetery, and of maybe some historical note. Years ago, it used to be called Adam Lutz's House of Losers. So you can put that in your archives. And in this case here, Miss Camillo had experience in the business. She had worked with her husband, Hector, at 3527 East Fairmount Avenue, which is around the corner, for the last 5 or 6 years. So her experience is in that business. She's going to operate exactly the way it is. She'll take the alcohol awareness course. She's familiarizing herself with the rules and regulations of the liquor board. And for any assistance that she's going to need, she's going to be able to lean on her husband, who's the current licensee. In the area there, it's a sort of an area that's not up and coming because a lot of the places are closing, but Mr. Camillo has bought the building and he's investing in the community there. And I think they'll be a fine asset to the community.
And just to clarify, the applicant is Ms. Camillo?
Yeah, she was sworn in.
I understand, but on our papers, it says that the current licensees are the applicants, but it's actually
No, excuse me. The current licensee, Bernetha Locklear, is a city resident.
Okay, she's going to remain on the license.
Yes, correct.
And will Johnny Camillo be on the license?
Yes, she is, and she was sworn in, and that was the first.
That's the name. Okay, Hector is her husband. Okay, I get it straight. Thank you. Okay, do the commissioners have other questions?
I have no questions.
Mr. Kadensky, any issues with the other licenses at Nitro or Aqua Bar and Grill? I guess that's one and the same.
Yeah, no, not that I know of. I haven't represented any problems in the area.
Okay, thank you. I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Akris, are there others who want to comment on this?
Are there any individuals, members of the public, who wish to provide comment in regards to this application? Please use the raise your hand function. Mr. Chairman, I see no individuals who would like to give testimony in this matter.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Knessy, on the basis of the materials contained in the application, your proffer, and any testimony received, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership.
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the testimony that was presented this morning before the board, I also vote to approve the application for the transfer of ownership.
Based upon the application and the proffers from Mr. Kadensky, I join my colleagues in approving the transfer of ownership.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Mr. Kadensky, we'll be mailing you correspondence on the board's decision and the next steps for licensure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just as a preliminary, Mr. Kadensky, you will be representing both for case number 5 and number 6, correct?
That's correct.
And the individuals are going to be with you in the office, correct?
That's correct. Mr. Novak is here with me now. You see him behind me. And Ms. April is behind me, and the other two are waiting patiently until we call them.
Okay, great. I'll then call all of those cases. Calling the next case, Raymond Novak IV and Anne Marie Petroff, Hardwater Bar and Grill LLC, trading as Hardwater Bar and Grill, 902 South Charles Street, is a Class B beer, wine, liquor license. An application to transfer ownership with continuation of outdoor table service, requesting off-premise catering.
Mr. Akris, can you put up that exhibit?
Sorry about that. Got one step ahead.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Kudensky, will you identify yourself for the record,
Sure.
please?
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 North Charles Street, representing the applicants who are present here with me.
Let's swear them in, please.
Okay. And would I be able to get their names first?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God, or under penalty of perjury? And please say your name first.
Raymond Novak, IV. I do.
Thank you.
Anne Marie Petrov, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kudensky?
This is a transfer of an existing location. It's been down on 902 South Charles Street. In this location, Mr. Novak is familiar with the neighborhood. He's been down there working with the people. He has a manager who is going to be helping him run, a gentleman named Dave, who's been 30 years in the business, who's also worked at this location. There won't be any changes in the type of operation. Ms. Petrov is a city resident. We're not expected that she's going to have any active part in the business. They are going to take the alcohol awareness course. I have them lined up to do that. They're familiarizing themselves with the rules and regulations of the liquor board. Mr. Novak is familiar with the neighborhood and has agreed that he will go along with the community at the appropriate times, be involved in the community. He will hire people from the neighborhood in the business. He has 3 or 4 tables outside for outdoor table service and plans on doing some catering there.
Okay, thank you. Do the commissioners have questions?
I have no questions. No.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do we have public comment, Mr. Akros?
If there are any individuals, members of the public on the attendee list, please use the raise your hand function so I can panel you and you can provide testimony in this matter. Mr. Chairman, I see no individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
Thank you. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application, the proffers from council, and any testimony received, I'd vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of outdoor table service and off-premise catering.
Commissioner Guy, also upon review of the evidence and the testimony presented before the board this morning, I've also vote to approve the application before the board for the ownership with continuation of outdoor table service and off-premise catering.
Thank you.
Based upon the application, the proffers from Mr. Kudensky, I too join my colleagues in approving the transfer of ownership with continuation of outdoor table service and off-premise catering.
You can go.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Okay.
Mr. Kudensky, we will be sending you correspondence regarding the board's decision and the next steps for licensure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good luck to that.
I'm calling the next case, Dipal Patel and Ajab Radhawa, General Partnership, trading as trade name pending, 1401 Decatur Street. This is a Class D beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Nancy, would identify yourself one more time?
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 North Charles Street. And I have both the applicants with me. They're being seated behind me.
I ask the reporter to swear them, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
We do. I do.
Do you need their names, Madam Reporter?
Will you be able to say your names before responding?
Ajab Randhawa. Dipal Patel.
And can you just say your responses?
I do. I do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kudensky?
This is a transfer of an existing D beer and wine liquor license. It's a small location on a corner of an alley. Actually, right on the other side was a place called Pazzaluna for years, was a restaurant out in front. It's the two gentlemen here, they live in a neighborhood. One lives on Decatur Street, right up the street, and one lives on Ford Avenue. So they're residents in here. They're familiar with the community groups. They're going to operate the place the way it is as a small tavern, may have a little light food, and they're going to take the alcohol awareness course. They will also familiarize themselves with the rules and regulations of the liquor board. Between the two of them, they'll be able to operate the place, and they will, if they need necessary, hire one or two people, and they'll try to do it from the neighborhood. Both of them have worked in the alcoholic beverage industry in Carroll County, and the place they had worked for as owned by one of the fathers of them, and has had no problems with regard to any of the operation.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
I have no questions.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Akers, we have public commentary.
If there are any individuals, members of the public that wish to give testimony, please use the raise your hand function so I can impanel you and you can provide testimony in this matter. Mr. Chairman, I see no individuals who wish to give testimony in this matter.
All right, thank you. On the basis then of the materials that are contained in the application and the proffers from counsel and any testimony received, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of the license requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the testimony presented before the board, I also vote to approve the application to transfer the ownership requesting and the request to deliver alcoholic beverages. Pardon me.
Based upon the applications and the proffers from Mr. Kudinski, I too would approve the application to transfer ownership with the delivery of alcoholic beverages. Good luck.
Thank you, Ms. Russell.
No exhibits for the record.
Mr. Kudinski, we will be mailing you correspondence regarding the board's decision and the next steps for licensure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to them. Mr. Akers, I believe that completes our docket for today.
Mr. Chair, you're absolutely correct. The board will be in recess until Tuesday, September 22nd at 11 a.m.
Thank you, everyone. Good day.
Good day.
Good day.